about Tim's camera.
I can't see shit. Locust Grove, that's attractive too.
Locust Grove.
Is that Kennewick ahead of us?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. What is that blue bridge looking thing?
That's the is a bridge that leads from Kennewick to Pasco. Pasco is the poorest and trashiest of the three Tri-Cities.
Are you happy yet?
Yes, I'm ecstatic. Can't you tell?
Yeah.
Very list to port.
Kind of pulls to the right.
Yeah, the town's got a hook.
Do you know what I mean?
It slices. Yeah, not so much, no.
Okay.
Okay, see that fucking vacant barren lot over there in front of Fred Meyer where there's this fucking gravel and scrub?
Yeah, I was just shooting.
That's like what Kennewick looks like when it hasn't been modified.
I was just shooting it.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, they've tried to plant artificial, like stuff not indigenous to this region to hold the dirt and the sand down, but that's what Kennewick looks like. It looks like that fucking bare lot there. That's the natural state of Kennewick.
Your potty mouth.
Not a potty mouth. Oh, at the next...
Yes, I'm a highway tabernacle.
So not here, but
Okay.
like a couple lights from now, you're gonna take a right.
Okay. Now, does your mom still live in your childhood home?
No.
We're gonna go to your childhood home?
We can. I think it's deserted, which I'll actually probably look. No, back when I was unemployed and she had a really fulfilling job. Okay, see this Papa John's? Used to be a 7-Eleven.
I hope there is still a 7-Eleven.
It's one of the many 7-Elevens that have been turned into something else, which I'm pissed off about. Because the 7-Elevens were an integral part of my youth, and they're all being taken away from me and made into fucking smoke shops and shit. It is not a world of men. Okay, anyway, so back to this movie idea. Back when I was unemployed and she had this job that was like completely unfulfilling to her, we had this great idea. We were in a Burbank thrift store. And for some reason at this thrift store, they had a huge pile of... Oh, I can fake my way through it. No one can tell. At this point, I could completely pass myself off.
Damn car.
Well, it doesn't need meat. Everyone needs... There's always room for meat, Krishna. What kind of a name is Krishna? Is that sort of a made-up name?
Yeah, aren't all names made up?
Not really. Bill's not a made-up name.
Somebody somewhere made up that name.
You know what else is not a made-up name? Jack. It's a proper name.
You say my name's not proper?
I'm just saying it's made up.
You say I'm not a proper chick. Here.
It's like when you meet somebody named like, I don't know, like Charlene and it's L-E-E-N or something. Or S-C-H-A-R-L-E-E-N. Why are you... supposed to be posing in some way?
No, you're doing good. Ooh, sun. Harsh sunlight. So I need to check my flash.
I mean, you literally have to tell me exactly what to do. Otherwise, I just tend to stand and look like some guy. guy next to a meat shop.
Wow, really?
Yeah. It was over there when I first bought my rock clothes. And all that really amounts to is like that I bought some, well, what you see before you, I bought up some black t-shirts and like some blue jeans. And then some bad, like kind of buttoned down things to go over them. That was the extent of it, but it was like compared to what I had been wearing before, it was just, it was brilliant, yes.
Couple shots of him with a couple different outfits on.
There is one right there. He's just throwing a fit. He wants to go right now.
Because you're narcissistic.
You know, not this much. I don't know. I almost wonder if it'll kind of kill the effect by having the knot.
I do, but I've embraced it.
You become Sandy with the nose.
Yes, I have.
Hey, I also bought a bathrobe here that I only threw away like last year. How weird is that? To people whom Jesus has clearly failed. I mean,
Focus. Focus. Focus.
What are you guys recording?
hey, it's my secret.
It's from Spokane?
Well, we live in Spokane now.
How many? There's so many stairs.
Okay.
I just assumed that they would have one that's Spokane.
No, it's,
We're at the Yakima diocese.
Oh, okay.
We're not at the Spokane diocese.
well, it's strange. I don't know if it has to do with the population who lives there. It's like, I don't, like in Spokane, I've never seen a Knights of Columbus. And there must be one, but I've never seen it. Yeah, well, there's one in New Merchant, there's one here. Spokane. Is the denominational makeup is different? Or?
What's Mayfest?
All right. Yeah.
Move, move. Good to show your boots though.
Yeah, so we're taking our friend here on a tour. And then they built this new fucking space-age church right next to the old one. Note the disrespect there. They had the perfectly good old church still there, and they built like this brand new one right next to it. Completely yeah, you're taking a right.
Oh.
It is a shithole.
I don't see any real shithole in this yet.
Well, I guess it all depends on how you define shithole. And take another left. It doesn't anymore. That was where OK95 was, which is the highest rated station in Kennewick at the time, which was like the big peak of my, sadly, probably still the peak of my radio. Literally, I mean, I don't think.
Product sperm.
Sperm? What?
Country, and then Clear Channel bought it. And then when Clear Channel bought it, they fired all the live DJs and started voice tracking it in from like Houston.
"12 steps."
Sadly, it's closed.
Oh, I'm so bummed it's not open.
Yeah, it is a cool place in this small, tiny, fucking mildewed sort of way.
Yeah, I don't want this shit into it. Doggone y'all, there's some awfully good records Yeah. Can you see anything in there?
Yeah.
Me too, a little bit. Are we setting off an alarm? Let's do that again. Back this way.
Just a lonely man walking alone shot.
Look towards the center. There you go. Stop. Just keep walking.
You know, what section of You know, that was also over a decade ago. So,
Can we eat at the meat shop?
sure.
Will there be clowns serving pork?
I mean, it's not that it's like a town of 12 people or anything. It's not that. It's just that, like, virulently curse the people who were golfing here. Supposing that, like, by dint of their being able to golf there, that their lives were vastly better than his was. So, which was probably true.
What do you...
Hey, there's a guy poking fun at you, I think. Fucking huge empty lot of nothing there.
Mexican style food. Does
That's
that...
like every 50 yards. There's a big sign that says no cruising. Because it was determined when I was about 17 that cruising was starting to pose a danger to the
It's all too green and lush. I need.
Sorry.
Jesus.
Sorry about that. I thought you were going the other way. I didn't mean to bruise your dirty pillows.
Sternum.
Well, my friend Todd and I have this game we play called Daughter or Girlfriend.
That sounds like a sick yet fun game.
No, it's just when you see the guy at the mall with the girl and you're like, daughter or girlfriend?
Oh, great. I was recording through that whole collision.
Well, to me, it tastes like the same as every other
So-
one that I've gone to. I mean, it's good, you know.
So what's your call there?
Yeah.
second mistress.
And I
But see,
know.
that's better.
That's
This
what
is
upsets
just tacky.
My tragedy lies in that it's bigger now, and
Yeah.
it just is. It is tragic. We knew everybody.
See, and this isn't even small enough to be interesting. It's just tacky. It's
Stop!
I mean, it's just this uninteresting fucking suburb. It's like stripped of like all suburbs, just stripped of all pretense of life and vitality. I mean, of nothing. Yeah. And there's another meat store.
Hey, there's the cereal place.
The golf club, community bank.
Okay, this Catalan Steakhouse right there used to be a restaurant that got shut down because they were serving raccoons.
Shut up.
I'm not making it up. Absolutely.
I'm being careful. Lucky boat.
That's the feisty spirit I like. That's my Joni. That's my Joni. Da 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 da.
Joni has balls. One.
Ooh, that's pretty fair. Alright, I told him most. Rick. Because he's trustworthy. No, he would. Because it's not even that damn interesting.
But you have balls.
I do have balls, says Dick Smothers Jr. I've seen his balls. They were shaved too.
Take a right here.
It was still craggy heads.
They were craggy. He had craggy testicles.
Craig.
Is your childhood home on that list?
Yeah. This is the shot of me looking pensively out the window.
Upside down.
It's the Bon Jovi shot of me in the tour bus looking out the window. It's sad. It was a family, not me inside.
This is a damn riveting but
All right, so we're just gonna drive straight. Since they seem fit to interject and strip all in the middle. I kind of like the fact that it's sort of barren. That's kind of cool.
it's kind of sad.
Yeah, but for our purposes, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, a bit creepy. Like
Okay, so
like
this tumble.
it's a dud. It's attacking me. And it's got garbage and shit in it too. It's
It's a
beautiful.
regular American beauty
Dad.
scene, isn't it? And then I was filming this tumbleweed, and my heart just felt like it was so full of joy I was going to die.
Oh, it's going out into the street. That's
Maybe it'll cause an accident.
oh, that's rad.
God, now the cops are going to come and arrest us for.
I'm gonna sell.
See? Oh, just for those of you who are following along, that hot tub right over there, the end of my finger right over there.
I see sky.
Yeah.
Where?
Oh, we're right there.
Oh, okay.
Right over there, there's like to the right, there's a little wooden ramp. Yeah. That's where it happened.
Stop it.
Did you use the whole roll already?
Yeah.
Wow.
Why, yes, I did.
I can't get over that. Okay, steady, steady.
I don't think anyone.
I like the barbed wire. There's some tumbleweed caught in the barbed wire. That's nice.
Nothing says come have family fun like barbed wire.
Oh, this is good stuff.
So this green stuff. Is it soft?
No, it's asphalt. It's like covered with this micro thin layer of astroturf, and so by the end of the day, your feet would be scraped down to fucking nubbins.
Seward. So is this just a seasonal place?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, it's like
Stand
June,
right there and you keep looking that way.
June, July.
Look
You
wistful.
can't tell me to act natural because that's a fundamentally illogical concept.
Look wistful.
Don't
Beware the Ides of March. Yes, since I've made my last. Hey, here's a fun fact. I went to school with a little girl at St. Joseph's, and her last name, they were immigrants, and her last name was Pissy. P-I-S-S-Y. Her name was Sue. Sue Pissy. And I swear to God, this is absolutely true. And her parents had one of those things like, hi, we're the DeRoshis, except it was the Pissies. I swear to God, it's
Where was she an
absolutely true.
immigrant from?
Fuck, I don't know. I was like in third grade. I didn't. Are you getting the point yet? Sinus is closed.
It really just says Lozed. But yeah. Oasis
It's
Waterworks.
so sad.
Okay, you can move now.
Is this a...
I'm pretty sure that's not a.
It's not a...
Yeah. That's horrible. Are you getting me walking the streets of my youth
Yeah.
as well?
We just couldn't be more pale.
It's all wrong.
Krista has to pee.
There used to, they've gotten rid of, like, there was a big green aluminum one that was here.
That's all we got?
Yeah. What?
I was recording all that time. So I just taped 3 blocks of nothing.
3 blocks of us battling
About pee holes. Hi.
Yeah, the old one was great because the old one had the atom symbol right in the middle of the cloud. So, like, just in case you missed that it was like a nuclear explosion to drive the point home.
That's disappointing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That one over there is great. It had that great 60s look to it, though.
Which one?
Jesus. Oh, the old Leave It to Beaver mushroom cloud over there.
Supporters of RHS athletics and activities. Bomber boosters, it says. Steady.
think about her, that dame? Oh, look, there's Atomic Auto Body.
Where?
It's a big sign, right? Directly straight through the fence on the back wall. Atomic car wash. With, of course, a big mushroom left. Nothing says wash your car like a big mushroom. See, do you not feel that? Do you not feel just the the relentless, oppressive blah of this place? I put it to you, Joni.
It's all right.
Well, it's in the middle of nowhere, though. There's no cities, right?
Right.
I mean, major cities.
Yeah.
I like to,
Deliberately designed to be isolated, cut off.
you know, at least in my hometown, we're now really long walk.
We really did. Yeah, I didn't really anticipate it being this long, but what are you gonna do? We're already here.
Bitch.
And
Well, I've gotten a lot of footage of you today looking really unhappy.
well, I'm sorry. Or is that good?
I don't know.
Well, no, see, because now, the longer I think of it, now that becomes interesting to me that you don't find it so hideous. Because I always did, and most of the people who I know who are from here did. Or who have come here, did.
Well, let me just put it this way. I've seen a lot worse.
Oh, yeah, so have I. I mean, I've been to places like Magna, Utah, which is like an entire town run by the copper industry, which is where it's just like bail bondsmen and pawn shops everywhere. So, I mean, I've been to places that are worse, but I think it's the combination of it being a bad place and also the fact that I was here for 18 years and that I couldn't leave, and that there was, like nothing that happened here. Like no good thing in my life ever happened to me while I was here. So, I don't know, maybe it's a bit of projecting going on as well. Do you have to,
Stop it. You're wasting precious film.
Am I? Am I?
Like we're all little
Cut.
I don't really know. It's the old-fashioned way, like going to the mall and playing video games. No, I just got it out of the tap like everybody else. Me and Jim are gonna float a raft down the river. Great. Taking a right. Atomic Ale.
Brew pub and eatery.
Too bad it's completely out of focus. Nice.
Ooh, and it's got the atom symbol on it. How great.
Now it's behind you.
Okay, so where did you see the swamp?
So here's a fun fact. All those houses up on the hill there, at any given time, I don't know if it's still this way now, they probably finished them, but when I was growing up, like about a third of those houses, the structure would be built, but they were just empty inside, because they would start building these houses during the nuclear boom times when it was like going really well. And then you'd get a president who would shut down part of the nuclear industry, and so then everybody would leave the town, and so these houses would just sort of end up abandoned up there, and they would just slowly cave in on themselves over the years. Song in between the lines about like 2 at a time and to do the laundry.
That song was obviously tongue-in-cheek.
Not to me. Bring it up with my friend.
Who was this?
Some guy.
I'll bring it up with some guy.
When you see some guy, bring it up with him.
Nice JCPenney you got there.
Yeah. We get that a lot.
Yeah, looks like a mall.
Yeah. So that's... Sometimes when you're filming, people give you the eye. They give you the stink eye, like you must be doing something wrong.
Yeah,
Like you're engaged in nefarious activities somehow.
surveillance.
Like you're the Men in Black or something.
I like filming you. It's a thing I could do a lot of. Yeah, you know.
Rearview mirror, fucking A. God damn. There's the Sherry's where we used to stay for hours and hours to get kicked out.
Where?
Okay. Now,
Where?
look, hey, Rain Man, look over there to your right and see a TJ Maxx. It's below and to the left of the TJ Maxx.
Are we going that way?
To the right of Pier 1 Imports, but to the left of Bed Bath & Beyond.
Fuck.
We don't really need to go to Sherry's because you know that every Sherry's on Earth is like the same. They're all identical. In fact, I thought it was really cool when I first moved to Portland and the Sherry's there was like on the same floor plan. And then I realized they're all on the same floor plan.
So the mall would close and you'd go to Sherry's?
Yeah, because Sherry's 24 hours. At the time, you could just get coffee and they'd leave you alone. The drama guys would always hang out with like the 3 gay guys at the school, even though the 3 gay guys at the school weren't in drama. And I don't think any of the drama people were gay to the best of my knowledge. But it's like when you got to Sherry's, those are the 2 groups that sat together. Kind of like the football guys and the student council guys always sat together, even though there was very little overlap between the 2. And I suspect that that's the same in every city in America. It's funny how these alliances just sort of spontaneously, rise up out of the primordial ooze of teenage society. And that's the way it is.
Ooze. Ooze, good or bad?
How do you stand on ooze?
Stop.
How do you stand on ooze?
That silo that's been abandoned since 1920. I don't know that it counts.
The General Mills, is that the General Mills one?
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't know,
see,
maybe
now I know where we are.
Maybe they still do shit there.
Car.
This fucked up building to your right with a yellow roof, which is going to be visible as soon as we get past the real estate firm. Da-da-da. Right there is the church where I was an altar boy. Isn't it a fucked up looking church?
It's very modern
Yeah.
Wow.
My dad-
Yeah, look at the hip doors and everything.
for a Catholic church.
And they
It's
don't.
a Catholic church.
Yeah, and
Wow.
they don't have bells. They had a CD player with bell sounds that projected bells out of speakers on the top of the roof. And my dad just couldn't tolerate it. The final straw came when we went to have Sunday Mass there, and the priest said that we should have tolerance and compassion for homosexuals, and that was like too much. That was the straw that just broke the camel's back. And so the next week we started going to a church across in Richland actually, where they said the Mass in Latin.
That would be exciting.
Yeah. So in the space of 1 week, we went from like the cool, hip, kind of modern church to like the I'm gonna fuck nothing up. That's valuable fucking nothing.
Oh,
Bunch
this
of
is
houses
this is
moved
just
out.
totally suburban looking.
It is. No foundations, hardly.
No, and this is pretty much the neighborhood. You're gonna take a right at the end of the street. I mean, my house is actually gonna be disappointing because my house like isn't overtly. Oh Jesus! Like my house doesn't have a Confederate flag in the window. My house actually is probably gonna be pretty nice.
Oh, look at that. Just kind of looks like Hillsborough, like Gresham. Oh, this shit's just gonna so look like it was shot out of a car window.
Really?
No, it was carefully planned dolly shots. Every last one of them.
The street is filled with cops, by the way. The chief of police and 3 other
Oh,
police
look
live
at
on
that
the
house.
street.
Look at
That's
that.
where the chief of police lives.
Oh.
Is
his
fucked up,
wife
shitty, gaudy house.
insane?
Yeah. Do you know what you want? Oh, somebody fucking lives there now. Cox.
Where?
Yeah.
Oh, how unfortunate.
Well, I can take a picture.
Well, fuck if they fuck with me. I'll just. We used to, I swear to God, shake his fist and say, "Get off my lawn." My brother and I would be riding our bikes.
Demonstrate.
And we would go into his driveway and he'd go, "Get off my lawn!" It's funny how now that I'm near my old house, I feel like I can't raise my voice. I feel like I have to.
That
be
is
quiet.
weird.
I.
Which room was yours?
You can't see it from here.
And how many years did you live here?
Like it's the opposite of this wall right here. It's on the other.
How many years did you live here?
Till I was, till I was 18, because my mom moved out right after I.
Were you born here?
Yeah.
Wow.
When I was born here, it was a lot smaller though. It was, I don't.
How about this corner right here, really quickly?
What would you
Okay, that's good. Oh, yeah.
I swear to God, this guy who owns this house now is going to come out and tell us to get off of his lawn.
But that would be the best thing ever.
Those are big fucking clouds.
Okay, don't be looking that way.
It's blue. No, red.
Where?
It's right there. Hey, straight up. Straight up. Look up.
Oh, I see it.
And it's one of those shitty Mylar buildings.
It is. Some child's crying right now.
It's metallic.
Becky's dad had this like colossal drinking problem, which we never knew about. He kept it hidden. One of those things where his wife would toss his alcohol and he would like drink aftershave.
Oh.
He would totally drink Stetson and shit. It turns out he had a colossal drinking problem because he was also a child molester, and was like having like sex with both the daughters constantly the entire time I was growing up.
Wow.
Now, but the creepy thing about it is. No, but the creepiest part now is that the daughters moved away, don't ever come back. The husband and wife still live there together, still married. And if you come by here during Christmas time, all of these houses are lit up and they're all lit except for that house, which is always just dark. And it looks like this missing tooth, or it looks like a smile where one tooth is just black and gone, because all of these houses are lit up and that one house is always just dark and the blinds are always drawn and you never see anybody at the window. And I know the husband and wife still live there and are still married, and it's like I can't even fathom what the psychic energy in that house is,
So what he was drinking a lot and then...
Well, we found out he had a huge drinking. I can't even imagine the sort of like energy that's in that house. So, shall we?
I gotta get a nice little pan of this. Oh, crazy. Oh, thank you. Oh, much better.
Yeah. The daughter's name is Tammy Clunt. Tammy Jo.
Tammy Jo Clunt.
Tammy Jo Clunt.
Wow. She's clearly insane.
Yeah, okay, now, see where that blue truck is, the blue pickup in the driveway? At Tammy Jo Clunt's house?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. At Christmas time, every night they get rid of that blue truck, and the entire driveway is filled with like moving little, Christmas stuff, like Santa Clauses that turn and bounce and dance and things that point. And the centerpiece is this little set of 15 little lifelike looking dolls in rocking chairs that rock back and forth and sing Christmas carols to you. It is the fucking creepiest thing. Lauren, I've got some pictures. Okay, I'm putting
Got
these
the
on the
shit
seat.
all over my hands.
Don't step on those.
All right.
Okay.
First shot. I need you to not move my car at all.
Okay.
what I want you to do is, I'm going to have you go sit in that corner right there, but not yet.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
I'm
Oh,
going to do
you're
one
doing
shot, and
exposure.
then I'm
Okay.
going to have you
Yeah.
come over there,
Okay.
and then sit there.
I'm on it.
Anyway, whose white man is this?
Don't touch it. It's just so wrong. So you're one of those people?
Yeah. Whatever happened to button shoes? What is with these kids and their hippity hop to the hip hop, hippity hip hop to hip hop, hippity don't stop? Is it too much to ask for a Lindy? I don't understand.
That wall. Right there, stop.
That's the wrongest thing I've ever seen.
Okay.
All right.
Now I want...
You should be really nonchalant. I think it's hilarious.
Krista, I really... That's... Oh, my creation.
Suddenly it's your creation.
I did that makeup, bitch.
Yeah, it looked like you just did, just a second ago, kind of a little arrogant.
Don't
Make love to the camera.
do my Mick.
Yes.
Ew.
can't-
Yeah, do it again, do it again.
No, I can't do looks on command, baby. It's just gotta flow. I can't.
Perfect.
That little insane thing where you
There you go.
might be your first one.
What's my motivation here?
Post it, would you?
What's your motivation?
The Alice Cooper kind of, a little crouchy.
Am I fetal?
Yeah, you're kind of fetal.
Oh, dude, check out that car. Great car. Okay, that's so Kennewick. Like kind of a this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Mind the way. That's pretty hot right
This
there.
is the gayest looking thing ever.
No, it's pretty hot, Rick.
Nothing's ever looked gayer.
If you were Morrissey, it would look gayer. I think that would put me over the edge if you started singing Morrissey.
Okay, come in closer now.
There?
Closer.
Closer!
Yeah, it's right there.
Me too.
Well, those guys at the Trans Am or whatever just left. They didn't want any part of us.
Can you do that same thing?
Yeah.
Other arm.
It's cold from clutching a soda. All right. These people don't know what irony is. They have no idea what they're doing.
But we would never deliberately be ironic, Rick.
Fuck off.
I'm just not feeling the horns. Yeah, baby. Should he do one straight at you?
A little bit closer.
Should he do the horns? Do the horn straight at you?
Like that.
I gotta get that.
Okay, don't move when you're doing it.
Like this? or
Yes,
this?
yes. Bring it
Towards
me.
us. Like he's cursing us.
Couple more.
Work it, move it.
Okay, you know what?
Such is the gamma. Stop it!
Wow, that's kind of odd because I can see myself in the thing. And it goes on forever and ever.
Oh, it's about you.
We're just gonna be over here entertaining ourselves. Could I get up to you like that?
Ooh. You made my flash.
Hi. Did I make you pop your flash?
Stop it!
I'm getting punchy now. I need some coffee. I just can't. I can't handle all the white around his eyes. It's a failure on my part. God, it's some pretty light.
They're coming after us.
You think?
We don't take kindly to people. Fuck, just look at all this, like, acres and fucking miles of bullshit. Of just, of like, shit separating me from, like good stuff.
What would you complain about if it weren't for Kennewick?
Oh, I'd find stuff. See, look at that. Boy, that's just, you can just look for fucking ever there and not see anything. It's like 3 houses.
So?
See, but so maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just like a question of perception.
How? I don't see how it's awful.
I see it as awful because all of that empty space right there, all of that empty space that just goes on for hundreds of square miles to me, every square inch of empty space is like one option that's been taken away. It's one limiting of the potential square, town that I lived in.
It's nice to be centrally located in one area where you can go to something like this and get away from, your big city if you want. But I agree, when you're out in the middle like this, I mean, not without having an incredible drive and having to meet it to get into a city.
Well, and I think living in a small town like that, especially again a small town set in the middle of a bunch, isolated from other cities by so much nothingness, it just kind of made me feel trapped, especially as a teenager. Because when you're a teenager, the biggest issue to you is control. When you're a teenager, I think being a teenager is a lot like being poor. A guy named Dave Marsh said one time that the defining characteristic, the defining symptom of being poor is the lack of control over your own life, over your day-to-day existence, over your destiny, over your future. You know, when you're rich, to a certain extent, you can wake up, you know, when you're financially independent, and you can determine what you're going to do that day, that week, that month. But when you're poor, the poorer you are, it's like a trade-off. The poorer you are, the more of that control is given away to someone else or to a group of someone else's. And those people exercise control over your life. Same thing when you're a kid, when you're a teenager. You know, when you're growing up, when you're 13, 14, 15, 16, you are desperately trying to do something different or important. And you can't, because that control is like taken away from you. And so, I mean, I think in a city like Portland, for example, even when you're a teenager and you don't have a lot of control over your day-to-day existence, you're living in a town where the possibilities are sort of infinite. And so there's always something to do. There's somewhere to go. There's somewhere to find your own space and kind of do your own thing. But in Kennewick, not only is the town itself small and uninteresting and sparsely populated and poor, but it's so remote that you actually can't get anywhere else. It is quite literally your only option. It's your only alternative. I mean, it's a completely pontification. All right, so this takes place about a third of the way through the script. You know,
My seat doesn't like the way you're sitting.
me.
No, you.
Oh.
What doesn't?
My seat.
Your
There you go.
seat?
That your seat. It didn't like the way you were sitting.
I'm
What
trying to
did it
create
say?
here.
Side air. It was upsetting. You see.
Sorry.
I'm trying to create my art.
Sorry.
All right. You know, it's strange how a song, or even just part of a song, can take you back to a certain place and time. And they say that smell is the most powerful of all the senses, and I don't doubt that it's true. You know, one whiff of a moldy bookstore or a dusty basement takes me back to my grandmother's house on Cedar Street. But right behind that has got to be the link between memory and sound. I tell you, I've got a million little moments like you filed away in my head like snapshots, and all it takes to activate them is to hear a particular song. And like a record in my head, the needle drops and the memory plays. Then you play the beginning of Talk Dirty to Me by Poison. This song will always take me back to the summer of '86 when my Catholic school was about to let out for the summer. We had a choice of where to spend the last Friday before school let out, and we voted on Wet and Wild, which was the water park that had just opened in Kennewick. All summer long, you'd see kids snaking up the side of the hill like ants, and you'd be sunburned and exhausted by the time you got home. You know, that kind of exhausted that you only get after being in the water all day long. Anyway, there we were about to enter the 8th grade, already feeling the pull of high school and hormones, wandering around the park looking for trouble. I mean, not trouble in the strictest sense of the word, but trouble in the 7th grade sense, which really meant pulling down some guy's pants when he wasn't looking. Well, there were also these high-powered water guns that fed right out of the swimming pool, and they were great, until one took out a kid's eye that same year. I swear to God, my parents were never so happy than when they could point to a time when a kid actually did lose an eye doing something. Anyway, my friend Chris was there, and he was walking around with one of those boom boxes we talked about earlier, carrying around, setting it down, drinking part of his big gulp, and then walking around again. Anyway, after going around the slides, up and down the slides like 500 times, my friend Mark and I got in one of those big hot tubs to rest up a little. So there we were, 12 or 13 years old, young enough to know all about Star Wars, but old enough to know that girls would not be impressed by this fact. So there we are in the hot tub when an actual adult girl got into the hot tub with a friend of hers. Now, in retrospect, this girl must have been a teenager, maybe 17, but at the time, and even in my memory, she seems older and more worldly than could ever actually have been possible. This happens sometimes. You think back to people who were a few years older than you in school, and even if you've never seen them again, when you think back on it, they still seem older than you, even at 15. And here was this 17-year-old girl, and she was in a hot tub with us. Okay, well, maybe she wasn't really in there with us, but she was there, and we were there. And what the hey, we were gonna stare. I mean, she was so totally engrossed in talking to her friend, who was also a teenage girl, but whom my memory has no picture of, that she was oblivious to the fact that her breasts were, well, visible. I mean, not actually visible, but she had on this purple two-piece bikini, and that was enough for us. I mean, realize that, older sisters and sisters of friends aside, we'd never really seen an actual woman up close. We didn't have internet porn. We didn't even have real porn. I mean, that would come later. The only place to see a woman like this was on TV, and maybe, if you were lucky, in an R-rated movie. But this was real, and right here, in front of us. I mean, I've never really understood the fascination with breasts. I haven't. I mean, I'm as obsessed with cleavage as any guy, maybe more. But I don't really know why or to what end, except maybe reproduction, and maybe that's enough. All I knew was that I couldn't quit staring. They were tan and wet from the water and perfect. And like a soundtrack to my unfolding adolescence, that guy with the boombox walked by and that song played again, and suddenly I understood. And it plays the second cut of Talk Dirty to Me. I swear to God, it all made sense. It was crystal clear, and I never wanted so badly something I couldn't explain or even describe. The explaining and the asking and the trying, well, that had come later. But for that moment, I was filled with feelings that seemed totally new and instantly familiar. I don't just mean I understood what the lyrics of the song were talking about. I mean, I understood. And after all these years, I can still remember that moment like it was yesterday. I mean, it was lust. I'm not going to try to dress it up as anything else. But it was pure in its way. And like your first sex or your first kiss, it stands apart as a special moment. And I'll never forget that girl, even if she never even noticed I was there.